Good evening everybody and welcome to round 2 of the RRL GTR3 League in RaceRoom Racing Experience. We are at the Silverstone GP track today for 2 sprint races of 25 minutes, each preceded by a 15-minute qualifying. The drivers are just finishing up their practice session, and all of them will be in the driver's briefing room at the moment, getting their instructions from our admin Simon Fillingham. So the drivers are getting the instructions and we are ready to get going. Let's just have a look at what happened last race at Road America 2 weeks ago. We jumped in a bit late with the stream, but there was some epic racing going on. So let's just have a look at the result of that race while the guys finish up their practice session. As you can see, we had Peter Backus taking the win, but if you look at that gap to second position, that was well, just under a tenth of a second. It was very, very close with Peter Peck, with a well, controversial win for Peter Backus with a last lap move from Peter Peck to try and get that lead, which he couldn't do in the end. Simon Fillingham rounded up the podium with his teammate Ralph Arella behind him, and then if we look further down the field, Chabot Albertini was the last of the podium of the point scorers. Sorry, we had 25 drivers on the grid. Let me quickly check. We have 29 drivers doing their practice runs now, so well, still 7 drivers of the 36 entries missing, but a nice grid nonetheless. And for sure, in these conditions, with short 25-minute sprint races, it will be very hectic indeed with that many cars on the grid. There will not be a reverse grid for this race. There will be 2 qualifying sessions, so people who, or the guys that don't get pole in the first qualifying will get their chance in the next one, although that will be run in sunset conditions, so it will be a bit different to spot your braking markers. Visibility will be a bit poorer, so we'll see who can handle that the best of these drivers. Only one race already done, but the standings reflect what we saw just earlier in the race results from Road America. Peter Backus at the top, followed by Peter Peck, Simon Fillingham, Ralph Arella, Pavel Moravec and Vlastimir Lukas for the top 6. And then it's Peter Backus and Nemanja Manojlovic, who finished in 9th. Their team, Let's Kick Some Butts Racing Team, are in the lead of the team's championship, followed by Czech outfit PH Racing, and then 77 close behind. So well, the top 3 covered by 6 points in this well, in these early stages of the championship, for sure, of course. On the right you can see the next rounds of this championship. It's an 8-round championship in total. So round 3 we're going to Hungaroring in 2 weeks time with another stream. Then we're going to Spa, another great circuit. We stay in Belgium for Zolder, then off to Portugal to Portimao, then back to the Netherlands to Zandvoort, and then the last race is the Nordschleife. This championship has a mix between sprint races, normal races and endurance races. So this is a sprint round today at Silverstone. Road America 2 weeks ago was a normal round with 60-minute race session, and then the endurance rounds, which are 2 rounds, are 95-minute races. So a big challenge for the drivers, and the points are scaled accordingly. So there are 33 points on offer for a race win in either of the 2 sprint races today. Everybody knows Silverstone, but still I'll bring up the track map. So we're talking about the same corners during the race. The home of British Motorsport in the well, newer layout, although the old one is already long forgotten, I think. So yeah, still with maggots, spigots and cups just before that. So great circuit with these GT3 cars. We'll have to see which cars are best suited on this track. As you might remember from last time, we have 16 different car makes on the grid today. So, or in this championship, I must say. So everybody is just driving a different car with different characteristics, different cornering speeds, braking abilities, fuel usage, tire usage, etc. So we will see some interesting racing and some interesting overtakes for sure. If you have any questions, please ask them in the chat in YouTube, and I'll try to have a look at that from time to time, but that will depend on the racing action. Now, as drivers are getting ready for qualifying with 1.5 minutes to go, we have Robert Horvat on top, and the timing screen is a bit messed up, but that will be okay for qualifying, I'm sure. So with 1 minute to go, we can talk just a little bit about the other series that we are running here at RRLeagues. You're looking at the GTR3 series, the only one with a live broadcast and commentary. Then we have the FR2 Open Wheeler Season series in our RaceRoom racing experience as well. And then the first R Factor 2 Championship at RRLeagues. 31 drivers on the grid last week at Sebring, so a full championship there as well. And then WTCC, which was run last Sunday for the first round. So those are the 4 main championships. If you want to join us at rrleagues.com and you don't want to get racing with the big boys just yet, you have the opportunity to join our race club, and that's just some fun races every 2 weeks with different race room content, mostly free or part of the starter pack, so you're not going to have to buy a lot of cars or tracks. And the next race is at on the 6th of September, so that's next week at Zandvoort with the NSU cars. So great fun, those cars. They were run last season as well in our SummerSlam series, so great fun as practice ends and qualifying starts. Let's see who gets out of his pit box first during qualifying. Peter Bacchus makes a good getaway. It seems he's out first, our race winner from last week. Can he set the early pace in his BMW M6 GT3? The rest of the field is right behind him, so we'll see what that brings. We have a 15-minute qualifying session and then a 25-minute race. So, well, qualifying is quite important in a 25-minute race. You don't have pit stops that play a role. Oh, we have some drivers in front of him as well. BMW Z4 and a Ford GT, if I'm not mistaken. So, well, Peter was not the first to get out. That's for sure. All the different cars, and as I was saying, well, 25 minutes is not an awful long time. We're running 2-minute laps here around Silverstone, so you don't have that many laps to make several overtakes or come back through the field if you have an incident in the first lap. So that will be for sure, will have been something that was mentioned in the driver's briefing by our admin Simon Fillingham. For sure, he pointed out that an incident on the first lap can ruin someone's race for sure, and well, that's not something that you want to have in any race, but in these short races, that's even more important. Last race, Radek Pavlacek took the pole at Road America, so let's just ride with him if I can find him here on the screen. If he's even here. Actually, yes, he's here. Let's see. He's coming up to Cops in his out lap. So let's ride on board in his McLaren. He's slowing down to give himself a bit of room, and let's just ride with him for the first lap and see what happens. Gonna let you enjoy the RaceRoom sound effects for a little while we ride on board with Radek Pavlacek and see if we can get the early pole position as the car in front is slowing down. So I'll shut up for 2 or 3 minutes. So getting through that complex quite well, Radek. A bit wide in cups, I saw, and we have Ralph Varela setting the early pace with a 201.4 at the moment. Let's see if Pavlacek can get close to that. David Torre, the Belgian, in second, 3/10 behind. Quite sure the field will be very close indeed. A bit of oversteer there for Radek, and then onto the power. Let's see what kind of lap time he does at 202.3. That's not the best lap in his life for sure. Here we are riding with Petr Pek, the second place man in the championship and at Road America. He will be trying to start from pole as well for sure. He's riding the Nissan GT3 together with his BH Racing. Oh, and a bit turn in too early and wide, so he will not set the best sector time here. It's getting quite crowded around this long circuit. As I was saying, he's riding in the Nissan GTR together with his BH Racing teammate Vlastimir Lucas. Look at how crowded it is. We have a Bentley, we have a McLaren, Nissan, Porsche behind, another Nissan in front, so it's very crowded indeed. Robert Horvat, as I saw that, he has set 2 purple sectors. He's 5/10 up on the pole time by Ralph Varela. Can he keep it together in the final sector? Here through Stowe, now into the Vale chicane and through Club and over the timing line. Let's see what he can produce, Robert Horvat. He couldn't compete in the first round, but he sets the pole lap time at the moment with half of the session past, 7/10 clear of Ralph Varela. That's quite a bit in the Mercedes AMG. So very nice lap by Robert Horvat indeed. I think he's going for another one. Let's have a look at Stefan Riedl from Germany, driving the not-so-known Alpina BMW GT3 car. So even that is on our grid. We even have a Ford Mustang GT3, as you see her in the foreground, followed by the Audi R8 LMS. Stefan Riedl, I think one of the let me see. Yeah, one of the last-minute reserve drivers that has jumped in. So, followed by the Nissan of Petr Pek. He's setting a personal best, Stefan, but wide now, so he will abort that lap probably. Then let's have a look at Petr Pek in the Nissan, getting past Stefan Riedl, and 2 green sectors. He's improved quite a lot on his time. We saw him have not the greatest lap at the beginning of the session, so let's see where he ends up now. He's 2 seconds quicker than his previous time, so that will catapult him up the grid for sure. He's 15th at the moment. That will put him in 2nd if he keeps up that pace. Let's see. No, quite a slow lap in the end. Very weird. He's in 13th position at the moment. Then we have Max Haas in the other Alpina. He's from the last minute racing team together with Thomas Stanek, and I think Stefan Riedl has replaced Thomas for this race. He could not be here with us. Also 2 green sectors for Max Haas. At the moment, Petr Pek in the Porsche in last position, 31st position, but he has still to set a lap, which he's doing now. He's in the BH Racing Junior team together with Michal Suski, and they are running the Porsche 911 GT3. Let's just stay with him through Stowe and then Vale Chicane and see where he ends up on the grid. Robert Horvat still having the pole time with 5 minutes to go, so the guys behind should be getting worried with that big of a gap. That will not be easy to bridge if he can carry that on to the race session. Here's Petr Pek. What can the BH Racing Junior racer do? He well, he was not even on a lap. Sorry for that. So we'll get back to him later. Peter Bacchus is improving on his own time. He's in 7th position at the moment in the M6, our race winner from Road America. He will be trying to start in a good position in this race. I don't think Peter Bacchus will get pole today. I think that honor will be for Robert Horvat if no one pulls something special out of the bag. But Bacchus up to P4, that's a good position to start in. Standings only go down to 24th, but as I said, we have 31 drivers on the grid. Let's quickly go through as we end as we near the end of this session. Manojlovic, Peter Bacchus' teammate, puts himself in 2nd, half a second behind Robert Horvat. So we have Robert Horvat from Nemanja Manojlovic, then Ralph Varela, Greg Metcalf, Peter Bacchus, Michal Pietras, Pavel Niyiri, David Dorge, Vlastimir Lucas and Simon Fillingham in P10. Then we have Charles Albertini, Radek Pavlacek, Jas Forsberg, Daniel Badcock, Max Haas, Petr Pek, Ollie Bateson, Malte Schneider, Morten Roslev, Lucas Kolb to round up the top 20. Then it goes on: Ludomir Nietzsche, Jim Britton, Pavel Moravec, Aaron May, Stefan Riedl, Michal Suski, Elio Fernandez, Daniel Frajda, Jack Ventura, Petr Pek in 30th position, and then Pavel Hutnik, who is not running at the moment. I think he has a no qualifying penalty from last race, so that's why he's not set any time. But Pavel Niyiri, he's in 8th at the moment, and he has set a purple first sector, now a green second sector, so that will not be bad. Oh, and a bit of a misunderstanding there with the car behind. Not ideal, of course, for the McLaren MP12 or MP4 12C, I must say. Through the chicane, always difficult, especially here, coming out of that turn, trying to get on the power. And in the cockpit of that McLaren, over the line, will he improve? I think he will, up to 3rd position, Pavel Niyiri, very nicely done. He's in the GFR Team 2, it's another Czech team, together with Szabolcs Albertini in the McLaren 650S. Sorry, they look so alike. But we near the end of this session. 1 minute to go. It's Horvat from Manojlovic, from Niyiri, and then Metcalf. So the grid quite spaced out, I must say. I had expected a closer qualifying, but in the end, some drivers will be doing some quick laps for sure. Robert Horvat not improving on his time. Where is he on the track? So nearing the end, so he will have another lap if he wants to. That's very important. He can stake out the competition and opt to do another lap if it's necessary. He might have... he's coming into the pit, so no more qualifying for Robert Horvat, who will then try to challenge him. Riding with Petr Pek, improving on his own time, but no purple sectors for him. He's in 14th at the moment, so he wants to get further up the field. He placed 2nd at Road America, so almost taking down those bollards. Very, very close. Still, we have a top 17 within 2 seconds, which is not bad. Onto the power for Petra, and now that great left-right combination, Laggets, Beckett's. Down a gear, then down another gear, and that's the end of qualifying. He will not be able to end his lap, it seems. So here we are getting ready for the race with Robert Horvat in 1st position. All the cars spawning on the grid, and as you can see, with this big of a grid, people spawning in the last corner, so they will have an even harder time getting launched off the grid. All the cars loading on the grid. Let's see what Robert Horvat can do from the TV cam. And away they go, starting the race. Oh, it's field spreading out a lot, but Robert Horvat getting away cleanly. And then if we look a bit further down the field, also they keep it clean. Then here, this braking zone will be very, very tough, but very civilized driving by all of these drivers here for a sprint race. Let's go a bit further down the field. And let's pull up the driver info. 22nd position for the Ford Mustang GT3. Everybody's still quite clean, although there was a Ford GT off there. That was Lucas Kolb, if I'm not mistaken. Elio Fernandez here in 1st position, but let's go to the front. We have Robert Horvat from Pavel Niyiri, and then Nemanja Manojlovic. So Nemanja lost a position to Pavel in the opening corners, and it seems like everybody got through that first section cleanly, which is great. That will for sure make for some great racing. And now we'll have to pick our battles. Everybody going through Maggots and Beckett's. Will there be any mistakes? Running with Vlastimir Lucas from BH Racing in the Nissan GTR. Seems all clear. Ralph Arella has lost the position to David Dorgen, it seems, in the Audi. But he's still in 5th position, or 6th position, Arella, with David in front. So doesn't seem like Robert Horvat has a big gap. Well, yeah, he has a second, so that should be enough for this first race to defend. Here's Michal Pietras. He was at the top end of the field in Road America, and he's in a big battle pack here. Everybody streaming past. Fernandez is dropping down the order. He must have had an incident. But let's stay here with this battle. We have Simon Fillingham, making a small tap and then losing a position. Or can he put his SLS on the inside? Yes, he can. So up the inside of Daniel Badcock, regaining his position. And losing another position, Daniel. This seems to be the closest pack at the moment in the front for B4, 5, 6, 7, etc. If you want us to focus on a certain driver, make sure to let us know. There's Robert Horvat and then Pavel Niri going through. And Vlastimir Lucas in 8th position, only 5 seconds behind the leader, so it's all very close. Any mistake from any driver will for sure mean lots of position losses. And it's only a 25-minute race, so only 20 minutes or 21 minutes to go just now, so it goes past very quickly. Not a lot of overtaking moves as Moravec is tumbling down the order, and he's not to be seen on the screen, so he must have had an off. Yes, he had 29th position, so second to last position for Pavel Moravec at the moment. Let's see at the end how far up he can get. Let's get back to this battle pack. So we have Robert Horvat, Pavel Niri, Nemanja Venolovic and Peter Backus. And then we have David Dore defending from Ralph Arella. Very close to Peter Backus as well. So, well, Peter won last race at Road America on pace. He had the pace to be at the top, but he had a bit of luck with some incidents from the top drivers, which put him in 1st position. And then, well, once you give Backus first, he doesn't let go of that very easily. So he took the win in his M6, and well, at the top of the standings, everybody has to follow him and try to beat him. So 4th position. His teammate is right in front of him, so that's a very nice team performance as well. And as you can see, this field keeps going and going and going. 31 drivers around the Silverstone circuit. Rick Metcalf then, maybe in the well, the most special car on the grid, the P45 Competizione. Everybody said it was not performant enough to be in this grid, but again, Metcalf puts it in 7th position at the moment, and is not giving any sign of struggling. So car lacks a bit of straight line speed, but it makes up for it in the corners. So let's see how how he will perform. Robert Horvat, meanwhile, not really in trouble with Pavel Nihiri behind, but he's not really dropping back either, so Metcalf right in that battle with Arella, Dore and Bacchus. And the last of the points scoring positions is again Szabolcs Albertini, just like last race, so let's see if he can stay there and take another point, or of course get further up the field. It seems Bacchus is holding up the guys a bit. All the guys behind are a bit quicker, so that means he has to look in his mirrors and defend. But that's also very nice for the top three, as they can build a bit of a gap. They have a 2.5 second gap now, so that's not too bad after 8 minutes of racing. So just to point out the variety of cars, we have Robert Horvat in the Mercedes AMG, then we have Pavel Nihiri in the McLaren 650S, we have Nemanja Minolovic in the BMW M6, another M6, an Audi R8, the Mercedes SLS of Ralph Arella, then Greg Metcalf in the P45 Competizione, then we have Lucas in the Nissan, we have Michal Pietras in the BMW Z4, Simon Fillingham again in SLS, then another Nissan, then another Audi, then the Alpina of Max Haas. Szabolcs Albertini is also in the McLaren. Then, yeah, well, we have the Bentleys, etc., the Porsches, the Ford GTs. So very, very varied grid, and well, it's proven to be a good formula for this series. All the drivers are positive about this choice, and it provides some nice variety on the grid with different liveries, different cars, and also in terms of driving physics. So that's great as well. Putting some better drivers in a bit more difficult cars, maybe a bit slower cars, can for sure spice up things and provide a real challenge for those top runners. You can clearly see the top three running away, and Horvat checking out with 2.5 or even 3 second gap at the moment, so that's a good performance by Horvat at the moment. He will be gutted to have missed that first round, but he has the advantage that we can drop 1 score in this championship, so that will probably be the first round with 0 points scored for him. Let's have a look further at the back where it's close. We have Morten Roslev in the 911 GT3 following the Bentley of Lubomir Nietzsche. Let's ride on board with the Porsche and see where he can make up that place and get up to 18th position. "15 minutes to go in this race, and it's all to play for." Metcalf taking the position from Arella. I just saw. Look how close this is. Arella losing another position to Lucas. So not the best of third sectors for Ralph Arella at the moment in P8. Down to P8, and Dore got past Bacchus as well. Or not, he's on the outside. Dore keeping it clean by Bacchus, just a small paint scratch. But David Dore gets past. Does that mean he has the pace? We have seen that Peter was a bit of the cork in the bottle. We take the position that will not be good for David Dore. Doesn't seem he does. Nope. David can keep the position, unless Peter can get on the power early now, straightening out that corner. But David has the advantage, so now it's up to David to make up a 3-second gap to Manojlovic and prove his worth, prove his pace, and get onto that podium. Will he be able to do it? We will see it in 15 minutes. Very wide there by David. So hope he didn't get any cut warnings there. I don't think he gained a lot of time, but still, you have to keep it within the white lines. From the TV cam that looks like this. So we have David Dorre at the front of the pack, and then as you could see on Hanger Straight, well, a 8-9 car pack battling for those positions, very, very close. And still we have 26 first drivers within 45 seconds, so it's all very evenly spaced out. Everybody has someone to race with, which is absolutely great. We have no retirements just yet, so that's great as well. It doesn't seem that Peter Backus is letting go of David Dorre, already 10 seconds behind the leader, behind Robert Horvat, who seems to have made a mistake. Yes, he's on the gravel, not sure what happened there, but he's losing positions, down to 15th position already. No, that's not correct. Oh, and he gets on the power too early, again into the barriers, so drama for Robert Horvat. Now down to 15th position, so just outside of the points scoring positions. Very big shame, but that spices things up at the front, of course. Here he is rejoining the track, not sure what happened there. Let's see if we can find out after the race on the forum, make sure to check that out. But Robert Horvat crashing out from first position with a comfortable 3-second lead as I was looking at it. So very unfortunate, and glad we catch that. So here's a new situation then. Pavel Niri, as I said, from the GFR Team 2 in first position, followed closely by Manojlovic, 1.3 seconds behind, and then 5.5 seconds to Dorre. But it was really Horvat who was the quickest, so can Niri produce that pace and keep the guys behind him? They have 10 minutes to go to make up lost time, so let's see what happens, and let's see if Pavel can cope with that pressure and don't make a crash just like Robert Horvat did. Horvat down to 17th position, so no points for him at the moment. We'll see if he can get back into the points. Here we have Peter Backus still. That's right on board with Dorre's rear wing. Oops. Looking back to Peter Backus, Greg Metcalf, Vlastimir Lucas and Ralph Arella, with Michal Pietras joining the party. So can Dorre close up on Niri and Manojlovic? It doesn't look like it at the moment. Under the bridge and then braking. Small look by Peter Backus, but that move was not on. Very close battle pack. Very sorry to the other 25 drivers for not really focusing on them, but these front runners battles are amazing to watch. We'll go through the field in just a moment once again. Horvat up to P15 now, so he's making progress and into the points. Oh, a good section there by Peter Backus. Can he get on the power early? Not early enough to really get into that slipstream of the Audi R8 of David Dorre. it seems. A bit wide by David. Ooh, quite a bit wide by David. Will he defend? He leaves the inside open for Bacchus, but breaks late into the Vale chicane. Now it looks like David is the cork in the bottle. Very strange. The gap for the lead still 1.2 seconds. Let's see how that looks like from Manolovic's perspective. So that's the leader there, Pavel Nieri. I don't think he has won an RRL race yet, so that would be a first for him. So the nerves will be high, and he will have to cope with it. Here he is in the black BMW M6, and Pavel Nieri doing a great job at the moment. Simon Fillingham then having a look at Petr Pek in the Nissan, but well, not making that move stick. He has Daniel Badcock just behind and Max Haas as well. Simon Fillingham in the number 1 SLS. Very close racing there as well. So let's go through the field before we end this race. We have Pavel Nieri, first position, a bit over a second to Manolovic. Then we have David Dore in that battle pack with Bacchus, as you can see, Metcalf, Vlastimir Lukas, Ralph Arella and Michal Pietras. Then we have Petr Pek, so that's another pack. Petr Pek leading that from Simon Fillingham, Daniel Badcock and Max Haas in the background. Then Szabolcs Albertini in 13th spot, Malte Schneider in 14th spot in the 4GT, battling with Lucas Kolb. So I think that's his teammate. Yes, it is. They are in one and the same team, the Four Friends Racing team. So these guys having a bit of fun for the last points scoring position. So they will have to try not and crash each other out, because those points are very valuable. Only the first 15 score points in a 31 driver grid. So very competitive indeed. They have Jas Forsberg behind in 16th. Then Ludomir Nietzsche in the Bentley behind. Morten Roslev, Robert Horvat down to 19th position. Then Ollie Bateson in the P45 Competizione, teammate of Greg Metcalf. Just behind them then Jim Britton in 21st position in the 911. Pavel Hutnik with the no qualification penalty in 22nd position. Then Stefan Riedl, Pavel Moravec and Michal Suski in 25th. Then Aaron May still running, battling it out with Radek Pavlacek. So he has not had the best of races, well, one of the top drivers, I must say, in 27th position. So that's how close it is here. Elio Fernandez, as Manolovic seems to have crashed. If I can find him, yes, he's on pit road, so either he has, no, he's rejoining the track, but he has lost the position, which well, puts Bacchus back in 2nd position as he has passed Dore. Sorry, we missed that, but I have to go through that field once again. Elio Fernandez was in 28th, Petr Pojl in 29th, then Jack Ventura, and well, they are having a great battle here as well. And Daniel Frajda in last position at the moment. So now back to the front. Pavel Nieri, it's a 7-second gap, so he will just have to manage that. 3 more laps to go, if I'm not mistaken. Peter Bacchus once again capitalizing on the mistakes of others, and of course with pace. He got back past David Dore to get to the top of this group. I don't think they will have time to get back on Pavel Nieri, but well, he will have to be mistake free in that case, because these guys here in this group are all top drivers, and Mistakes are very, very rare, but they can happen, as we saw with Nemanja Manojlovic, as we saw with Robert Horvat just some minutes ago. Down to Brooklands, and then Luffield for the left-hander. Let's see here with Ralph Arella at the back of this pack. Can he gain some spots? His teammate Simon Fillingham is in 10th position, and if I look at the team's standings, if I pull those up for myself, it's well, Peter Bakus and Nemanja Manojlovic were in first, then BH Racing, so that's Vlastimir Lukas and Petr Pek were in second. They are in 5th and 8th now, so well, not too bad for sure. 77 Racing, Simon Fillingham and Ralph Arella, also not too bad, 6th and 10th. So well, all those teams are very, very matched between each other for sure. Two minutes to go as we round up another lap for Pavel Niiri. Puts in a 2.4. Not the fastest lap, but well, of course we had a quick qualifying session as well. Michal Pietras just not quick enough to be part of this group. He's just hanging back, maybe willingly to just have a look and see what happens in the last lap, because, well, if you're this close, you are bound to make a move for another position and more points. So what will we see? We have this lap and then another lap to go, if I'm not mistaken. Michal Pietras, I was just talking about him, and he has checked out, it seems, 9th position. No, sorry, no, that was just a timing glitch. Sorry for scaring you there. Well, yeah, he dropped back to 10th position. He was behind Arella, so that promotes Badcock here in front, at the front of this group, to 7th position. There's a 7-second gap there, and looking at the gap in front, 7.5 seconds still, so Pavel Niiri is doing a great job of managing that gap to the front. Max Haas here in 13th position, also having a great battle with Nemanja Manojlovic, so he's just in just behind the sister BMW, of course, a lot more recent model at that. The gap at the front is coming down, but I don't think Bakus will have time. So here's Niiri starting his last lap of the race, with Bakus and Dore rounding up the podium. Let's have a quick look here. Ralph Arella is still at the end of this group, but with a bit more of a gap. Let's see if any moves will be made. And Bakus now a lot faster than Niiri. Let's hope he doesn't make a mistake and lose out. As we have Forsberg and Schneider as well, very, very close, battling for that last points-paying position. Forsberg, the Frenchman, following 3 German drivers to get in into the points. 5.9 the gap at the front. Here's Nemanja Manojlovic with a bent car, but he's making up ground with some paint trading. 11th spot for him. Albertini down to 13th spot, and Max Haas is just just between them. So let's get back to the leader. Pavel Neri, if I'm not mistaken, I don't have all the history at hand here, but if I'm not mistaken, he will take his first RRL win for the GFR Team 2. So a check. 1-2 it will be if Bacchus doesn't have any issues. Pavel Neri in first, Peter Bacchus in second, and then David Dore in third. We will follow the leader. Arella then making some moves. We'll just quickly go there. Pavel Neri will take the win. Congratulations, Ralph Arella. Will he take the spot from Vlastimir Lukas? He had it, but he had to give it back, it seems. So Peter Bacchus second position, David Dore third position. Then we have Metcalf, Lukas, Arella, and then Badcock will finish in 7th position, Simon Fillingham in 8th, Manojlovic in 8th position, or 9th position. That's well, a good recovery drive from him. Haas, then Albertini, Peck, Pietras, Kolb, and Forsberg. Let's see if we can quickly catch that. Which position did he get? He got 15th, it seems. So he did get a points-paying position. We will get the final standings very, very soon. All the drivers finishing their races. Ludwig Nietzsche finishing his race in 22nd position. Aran May, he's still running, it seems, through the Vale chicane and finishing this race. So overall, great racing for this first of 2 sprint races. Don't go anywhere. We have a 15-minute qualifying session in sunset conditions coming up just in a moment, and then another 25-minute race. Petr Pažl, the last one of the race finishers. Jack Ventura, I don't think he's well, he's running through the pits and finishing his race. So here it is, 4.2 seconds between Neri and Bacchus, then Dora in third, Metcalf in fourth, Lukas in fifth, Arella, Badcock, Fillingham, Manojlovic and Haas running up the top 10, then Albertini in 11th, Peck, Pietras, Kolb, Forsberg in 15 for the last points scoring positions. Then Schneider, Horvat outside of the points, Roslev, Bateson, Hutnik, Britton, Nietzsche, Riedel, Moravik, Pavlacek, Suski, May, Fernandez, Vrajda, Pažl and Jack Ventura in last position. So very nice race here. Let's see if Horvat can take another pole position in this this new session, and if he will be able to keep that first position. So the server is now quickly rebooting for the next qualifying session, and we'll be back shortly for that. Stay tuned. So here we are back for more racing in the RRLeagues.com GTR3 Championship in RaceRoom Racing Experience. We have had a 15-minute qualifying and 25-minute race won by Pavel Nieri just now, and now it starts all over again. We're riding with Ralph Arella, as I will put up the driver info once again. With Ralph Arella, yes indeed, he was the first one out of the pits, and we have a qualifying session in sunset conditions. As you can see, a bit darker, the sun is a bit lower, and everything just looks a little bit better. Here's Ralph Arella starting his lap with his teammate Simon Fillingham just behind, so the two SLSs are keen to make an impression in this second race. Drivers reporting having a very hard time managing the tires for those 25 minutes. We're running with a 3x multiplier on the tires, and that has been well, not easy for the drivers. We didn't really see it from the cameras here from the studio, but well, everybody reporting having difficulties with tires. So Ralph Arella, our number one ranked driver at RRL, that's calculated on the last 20 races, and then with your well, points scored, he is our number one driver over the last 20 races run at RRLeagues.com. Let's see if he can set the early pace. I'm sure he will, but will he be able to take pole position in the SLS, the old Mercedes, or will it be Robert Horvat again in the new Mercedes? 36.1 for the first sector, coming through Maggots Beckett's, and then setting the second sector. It seems 126.6. If I'm not mistaken, the pole time last race was a 201.3 or 4, something like that. So let's see how close we can get to that. Through the Vale chicane, then through Club and over the line, and then we can see Daniel Badcock just in front, and a 2.1.6. Not too bad there from Ralph Arella. Good lap, Fillingham 6/10 behind, so that proves how good of a lap that was by Ralph, his teammate. Bacchus putting himself in between the two teammates. Horvat just behind Arella, so a very good lap by Ralph there. Let's see if he can keep that up, as we still have 25 other drivers having to put in a lap and finish their lap, so not easy to be on the top spot here. But if he wants to defend his number one ranking, Ralph will I think have to come up with a good result here in race 2. 6th place if I'm not mistaken in the first race, or something around that for sure. So it's a good result, but not the best. Let's stay with Ralph at the moment and see what he can produce. Purple sector 1, again coming through the Maggots Beckett's complex behind Daniel Badcock. He is, well, not too close, so another purple sector, now 3/30,000ths of a second behind, or up on his time, so he will be improving if he keeps it together. But will it be enough to keep the likes of Dorge, Horvat, Bacchus, well, Nieri, our race winner? Don't remember where he was in qualifying in the first race. I think he was in 3rd and then made up a spot. So where will he end up? Across the line, and he didn't improve in that last sector, so shame for Ralph Arella. Simon Fillingham still in 5th position. Right, so let's have a look at someone else then. Robert Horvat retaking that top spot from Ralph Arella with a 201.3. That was around the pole time of last race, so it's already proving to be a bit closer. Everybody has those 13 race laps in the qualifying under their belt, some valuable practice. The track is of course well known, but still it's not always easy to get a hang of it in a short period of time. We are having 2 series per week, so 4 series running as they try to keep away from the guys on a fast lap. We have 4 seasons, 4 series, and some drivers are running all 4, so they really have to manage their time and see where to put their practice in. GTR3 is the top RaceRoom championship, I would say, but we have WTCC as well, which is very popular, and then we have the DTMs in R Factor 2, and of course the open wheeler series with the FR2 cars in RaceRoom. Let's see what Pavel Neri can produce. He's in 11th position at the moment and slightly improving in Sector 1. There's no ballast involved, there's no reverse grids involved, just everybody gets measured purely on pace in these 2 qualifying sessions. No messing around. Sector 2, yes, improving 3/10, and he's only 9/10 off pole position, so it's well, this qualifying session is a lot closer for sure. Again, 31 drivers still on the grid, so nobody dropping out, which is always nice in a 2-race format. That can happen sometimes, people doing the first race but not the second. So at the moment it's Horvat from Arella, then Dora Hutnik, Bakus, Petr Pek, Vlastimir Lukas, the 2 Nissans, then Manojlovic in the BMW, Fillingham in P10, and Neri in 4th position. He puts himself, I think he was in 3rd in the first qualifying session, so consistent driving from Neri in the 650S GT3, and a good lap set by him, and he goes for another one. We have 5 minutes to go, and as I learned in the last qualifying session, when the counter goes to 0, qualifying stops. So if you want to set another fast lap, you have to get out now, because you have 2 times 2 minutes to go to set your lap. So it's getting time to get out on the track and put in your laps. Ralph Arella, I see here on my screen, doing a purple first sector, a purple second sector. He's behind his teammate. Is he giving him a tow? No, he's a bit too far back, Simon. But still, that would have been maybe a good opportunity to gain some time down that hanger straight, that long straight, with the braking for Stowe Corner, and then through the Vale chicane, as I've said so many times already today. He's 2/10 off Robert Horvat. He seems to be 1/10 quicker at the moment. He keeps it very, very tidy. No drama at all there. He will get closer, but how close? He takes pole with 39 thousandths of a second in front of Horvat, and now we will have to see who gets that pole position. We have Nemanja Manojlovic having a purple sector as well. He's in 11th spot at the moment. So qualifying really heating up now. It's right on board from the cockpit of Nemanja Manojlovic. He was up there as well in the final stages of the race, but then crashed out and lost many positions in the end, ending up in P9, if I'm not mistaken. David Dore also going quickly, but Nemanja Manojlovic Great second sector as well, again purple. So will he take pole? Robert Horvat retook pole position from Arella. Sorry, we missed that 2/10, so 2:01.0. Will we get into the 2-second flat lap times? Manojlovic on the power, and now get it turned in. Let's see when he crosses the line. Oh, that's second spot, just a bit of a worse last sector. He still has one lap to go if he wants, but he messes that one up. Now we have Simon Fillingham here. Getting crashed out, if I'm not mistaken. At least that it looked like that. So that's very unfortunate, because he will not be able to do another lap. Ralph Arella still driving. Finishing another lap, but not going quicker, so end of qualifying for Arella. Horvat still in pole position. Pavel Hutnik is in 7th. He has a, well, 3/10 up on his own time. That would put him in around 4th position with David Dorre. Let's see what he can do. We have 2 minutes to go, so everybody who still wants to do a lap has to cross the finish line right now, or there will not be time enough. He gets it turned in early. Let's see what Pavel Hutnik can produce. 5th position, just behind David Dorre, as I expected. Then Aran May is in 28th, but improving massively on his time, 3 seconds quicker. Also getting onto that last sector. Bakos is in 10th position. That will keep him there, so he will have his work cut out for him in this race. Top 10 are still the usual suspects, let's say. Aran May from 29th, he goes up to 27th position. Radek Pavlacek going into cups. He's in 14th at the moment in his McLaren. Will he have a better race here today in the second race here at Silverstone? He has a great first sector, 3/10 up, and he has a car in front that is flashing a bit. That's not great. Maybe he can get a tow from one of the Alpinas. He's still 88 thousandths of a second up on Robert Horvat's pole time. This will be very close. He has 40 seconds to cross the line. I think that should be no problem. He gets it stopped, but misses the apex a little bit. As we see the sunset at Silverstone, braking for the chicane. Let's hope he doesn't get held up. Oh, yeah, he lost some time there for sure. I think, let's see what he can do. P4 for Pavlacek. Good lap, but I think he would have hoped for more there. Petrepek, BH Racing, doesn't have enough time to complete his qualifying lap. So that's it for qualifying. Robert Horvat in first, Nemanja Manojlovic in second position. Now we have 1 minute left for the start of the race. Completely, well, different grid of course, but from the front it's looking quite the same. Robert Horvat starting from pole. Can he take that well-deserved win, I would say. He had the pace to take the win, but he made a mistake, and that's something you cannot afford to do here in this grid. One mistake and you are out of the points, as Robert will have felt in that last race. 5 seconds to go for the race to start. And we are racing again at Silverstone. Lots of tire smoke. Let's see if we can keep it as clean as in the first lap. 19th. Seems quite cool. Some drivers going off there. Let's have a quick look. Daniel Badcock is involved. Stefan Riedel is involved. So, big incident there. Let's see how they can all recover. Morten Roslev as well rejoining the track. So that's a real shame. I would have hoped it would have been as clean as the first lap. But back to the front now. As we get to Brooklands. Robert Horvat in front of Nemanja Manojlovic, then Ralph Varela in 3rd position. David Dore in a very close battle, he's in 6th position. Peter Backus already up to P8 and trying to gain as many positions as he can. That was very close by Michal Pietras as well in front. Also this race in sunset conditions, just like the qualifying session. Pavel Hutnik. As I always forget to pull up the driver info. That's solved now. So Pavel Hutnik in 7th. In a very close battle here on the first lap as well. Backus is right behind him as the leaders already finish their first lap. Hutnik going through on Dore. Yes, he does. The BMW Z4 passes the new Audi R8 and David has to watch out for Peter Backus behind. Can he keep him behind? Yes, he can. As you can see also on the left hand side of your screen, we are a very international or mostly European league, of course, but we have some drivers from the US as well in our championships, so you will find the best of the best in RaceRoom racing at RRLeagues.com, and well, just starting out in R Factor 2, but shaping up very nicely as well, that DTM championship. Robert Horvat has a healthy gap to Manojlovic. Varela is only half a second behind. Filling him now in P5 behind Pietras, so a bit further up than in the first race, which is nice for him. All the field streaming past Greg Metcalf a bit further down the field than in the first race in the P4-5 competizione. Pavel Hutnik looking back at Dore and Backus. Let's see what happens there. It's a bit wide, Hutnik, in my opinion, but Dorhan as well keeps the position. He keeps 7th position. Now you can ask, will there be drama? And I can say, yeah. I'm quite sure something will happen to mix up that top 10 for sure. We have Britain doing a lot better than in the first race. On P10 we have Pavlacek as well in the points, which wasn't the case in the first race. So we have, well, I must say, at the moment that those first 10-15 drivers are now all of the usual suspects at the front. We are missing Vlastimir Lukas, it seems. Daniel Badcock is a bit further down at the moment, but well, all the usual suspects at the front at this point. Let's see if that stays that way. Very close battle pack here, as you can see, streaming past. Pavel Hutnik is in close racing with Simon Fillingham, and closely followed by David Dore and Peter Backus. It seems Ralph Arella is getting quite close at the front to Manojlovic. So Horvat is getting away a little bit, but Arella and Manojlovic not giving him any freebies here at the moment. Already 7 minutes into this race, 18 minutes to go. Let's have a look at David Dore. No, I just saw Pavel Nieri. Can't seem to click him here. He's in 13th spot at the moment, so our race leader, or our race winner from race 1 in 13th, now battling it out with Greg Metcalfe behind and Max Haas in front in the BMW Alpina. There's the whole that whole field. Very nice shot there of all the cars. Here, looking back from Manojlovic, he's really having to defend very hard from Arella, our #1 ranked driver. 3rd spot is more what he's looking for than a 6th position finish in race 1, but that proves how competitive it is here at RRLeagues. Everybody has someone to race with at the front as well as at the back. We have still 30 drivers. Jack Ventura has retired from the race. We have Michal Suski in last spot at the moment. Still very, very close to Malte Schneider in 29th. Well, these two guys battling here gives Robert Horvat a bit of breathing space, as David Dore and Peter Backus. Has Backus gotten in front? Oh, that's Hutnik getting past Fillingham here, it seems. Yes, he does. So, or well, defending from Fillingham, it's actually. So he keeps 5th position. Hutnik and Michal Pietras, his teammate, is just in front. So great team result if the race would end now, but that's not the case for these two Czech drivers of the GFR Czech team. Pavel Nieri from their junior team won the race, so there's no real A and B team here, it seems. Pietras has a 2-second gap to his teammate, but Hutnik has the big boys behind him. He's part of them, but he has Fillingham, Dore, Backus, Pavlacek, Britten, Forsberg, Haas, Nieri, Metcalfe, etc. behind him, and not too far behind him. Down to Moravec is only 5 seconds. So great racing here at the moment as Backus goes wide. He's trying every trick in the book to try and get past David Dore. Let's have a look at that from Pavel, or Radek Pavlacek's perspective. Oh, as I thought he was having a spin there. Luckily that did not happen for him. Radek having a good run here on the Hanger Straight. Max Haas switching positions with Niyiri. And Horvath building a 2.6 second gap at the moment at the lead of the race. And the power there for Radek. Of course, the McLaren nicely balanced in the corners most of the time, so you can see him closing up a bit here through this section. Dorgen and filling him in front. Hutnik has a bit of a gap to these guys. Here's the leader, then we have Manojlovic, and Arella is as close as ever in the Rowe Motorsport SLS AMG, the famous livery for this car. Horvath now with a 2.5 second lead already, and Pietras joining this three-way battle here for the nice podium spots. He's not too far back in the BMW, so very nice driving by him for sure. David Dorre here is in the middle of this battle. And Pavel Niyiri is having some close racing as well. He's in 15th, so he's the one in that last points paying position in this race. And he's battling it out with Max Haas in the Alpina in front and Vlastimir Lukas behind in the Nissan. So, well, big battle for the points here at the moment. Here's the dash cam. Of Ralph Arella. And as I said, the drivers struggling with tire grip, and that will start to kick in now as we are 15 minutes into the race. These last 10 minutes will not be easy for these drivers for sure. Let's see who is the one who has taken care of the tires the most and can have a good last part of this second sprint race. This is only the second round of the championship, so nothing is lost or gained here, but a good result in these two races can really start off your well, your championship contention here in this championship. So very important to do well here as we travel to the Hungaroring next time. A track notoriously difficult to pass on. Farella going for the outside line. Can he get on the power? Yes, but not early enough to really get on that slipstream of Manojlovic. Jas Forsberg here. He's in 11th position. I think he was outside of the points in race 1, but he's now battling it out with the crew chief, Jim Britton, in the 911 GT3. And Jim is sliding it around as it's usual with the Porsche. Jas is in the Audi R8. Let's see if he can make a move here into Cops. Is close. Will he show his nose or just stay tucked in behind? Late braking, early turn in and onto the power. Good driving by Forsberg here. Oh, a bit wide from Britain. Can just get on the power, because that's sometimes the issue here. If the guy in front makes a mistake, you need to be just far enough away so you can get on the power when you want to. He's on the outside, Jas, but Jim is on the inside and brakes late. Big slide there from Jim Britton. He's taking the life out of those tires, and he has 8 minutes still to go. They're right behind that battle with Radek Pavlacek, Peter Backus and David Dorre in front, but driving like this, they will not make the connection with them, I think. The order at the front stays the same at the moment, but it is quite close for sure here with Radek as well and Peter Backus. Oh, small tap there from Jas. Can he get on the power again? Yes. As we see the sunset over the Silverstone circuit for the second sprint race. Really braking on the curves there from Jas Forsberg, taking every inch of the track to his advantage. Very dangerous in my opinion to brake that hard on the curbs, but it seems to be working for him. P11 is not at all bad. Let's have a look here at Peter Backus, because he was having a look possibly at David Dorre. Let's look at that from Radek Pavlacek's perspective. Horvat has a 4-second gap at the front. I have raced with Robert. He is my teammate in the R Factor 2 championship, and I don't think he will give this one away. He doesn't make that kind of a mistake 2 times on one night. But well, a lot of things can still happen in 6 minutes. That's 3 laps, so I think we will have 4 laps still as from now, which is not a lot, but enough to make things happen. Radek Pavlacek really pushing hard here at the moment. 2:02 as his fastest race lap, and it seems Simon Fillingham in front is holding these guys up a little bit. Hutnik has run away from this pack. Britton and Forsberg are still in the same order, but guess who is joining the party? It's Greg Metcalf. Oh, as Jas and Jim go side by side, I think. Yes, there is Jas. He wasn't on the screen just yet, but Jim keeps it in front. He will have a big report to write about this race. Can Jas make a move? Again, braking on those curbs. Yeah, special style from Jas Forsberg. But if it works, it works. Ralph Varela still very close to Manojlovic in front. And Greg Metcalf, rejoined by Radek Pavlacek. He has had an off. He rejoins in 12th position, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, Greg on the grass. So as I said, drama was bound to happen. Greg not losing any spots, it seems. Let's see, Radek is just behind, but don't know what happened there. Just a bit of disconcentration, it seems, with that off from Pavlacek just in front of him. But Greg keeps it on the black stuff for now, so that's good driving from him. Back to the front. The battle for P7. Bacchus got past David Dore. That's a pass that we missed. But up to P7 now. Peter Bacchus starting from 10th. So not bad at all at this point of the race. 3 laps to go here. And David Dore, the Belgian, in 8th position. And we have the 2 GFR Czech drivers, Michal Pietras and Pavel Hutnik, still putting in the best team performance here in race 2, I think, which is very nice to see. And that with the old BMW Z4, so also a competitive car in this championship. Ralph Varela, well, we have seen this shot 5-6 times, I think, going through cops, following Manojlovic very, very closely, but not able to find a gap to get through. Now, of course, the tire wear will be coming into play as well for Jas Forsberg and Jim Britton, who got promoted up to P9 and P10 due to the off of Radek Pavlacek. He's right behind Greg Metcalf as well. What a nice variety of cars. We have a Mercedes, BMW, Mercedes, BMW, BMW, Mercedes, BMW. Not a big variety there, but different makes or different models of those cars. And we have an Audi, Jim Britton in the Porsche, Forsberg in the Audi. So great variety of cars here. And Ralph Varela, can he take 2nd position? His teammate Fillingham is in 6th, so that would mean they have the best team result in the end for this race, if he can make it happen, if he can make a pass on Nemanja Manojlovic. Robert Horvat, a 6-second gap over a 25-minute race. That is not too shabby, I must say. Where is our race winner from the last race? Oh, Pavel has retired in 30th spot. We have 3 retirements: Jack Ventura, Pavel Nieri and Elio Fernandez. Aaron May is in last position at the moment, but only 10 seconds behind his closest contender. So, well, any mistake will put him back into contention. Last of the points scorers is Vlastimir Lukas, just in front of his teammate Petr Pek in 16th. So I think good result in the first race, not so good result for BH Racing in the second race. As we have 1 minute left, let's have a look at Robert Horvat. He is on the hanger straight, so after this one we will get 1 more lap for everybody to prove their worth and well, get onto that spot where they think they deserve to be. Again, looking back from Nemanja Manojlovic. Can Ralph pull something out of the bag? How are the tires of these 2 drivers? How will they handle the last lap? Will they make any risky moves and risk to, well, lose many positions, or will they just keep it here, take the good points haulage in the second round of the championship and move on? Let's follow it from here. Oh, very late braking, missing the apex by Ralph. But now Nemanja missing the apex a little bit. Ralph is getting very, very close for sure. You need to be closer to make a move into Brooklands. We saw that with Peter Bacchus in the first lap here. You need to have a good amount of overlap to be able to make that pass. Very, very, very close from Ralph, but again, still one or two car lengths behind. That's not enough. He will have to do it through the Beckett section. Good turn in there by Ralph. He seems to be a bit more tidy, but that can be because we are looking at the back of Nemanja's car. Still good line. Forsberg into 8th position, Dore down to 12th, so something must have happened there. Metcalf up to P9, and Manojlovic going on the defensive. Very, very close. I must switch to the race winner going through the chicane. Robert Horvat will take the win here at Silverstone, and quickly going back to that battle for P2. I think it's Nemanja's P2 here at Silverstone, followed by Ralph Arella, then Pavel Hutnik and his teammate Michal Pietras. Well, they dropped back a little bit, it seems. Will they go side by side, and will Simon get a move there? Oh, that was very, very close. Not sure what the end positions were there. Now we have Jim Britton, Chas Forsberg in 7th and 8th, Greg Metcalf in 9th, Peter Bacchus in 10th to round off the top 10. We'll get the results when everybody has finished their race, but a frantic end of the race. Things really kicked off there inside that top 10, it seems. Who is still running here? Ludovir Nietzsche in 19th position in the Bentley, just behind Lucas Kolb. And Daniel Badcock had an off in that first lap. Some drivers were involved there. That's why there were some retirements for sure. Morten Roslev, 21st. Ollie Bateson in 22nd position. He will finish. Stefan Riedel, in 23rd. As everybody is finishing off the race. Petr Pozl, Daniel Frajda, Michal Suski, and then Aaron May. Last of the finishers, but a great race for him for sure. So here we are for the results of this race, which will come up shortly. Robert Horvat taking that win that he wanted so badly. Manojlovic in 2nd, Arella in 3rd, Hutnik, Pietras is filling him, so they finished like that. Britton Forsberg in 7th and 8th, then Metcalf, Bacchus in P10, Pavlacek, Moravec, Dore, Lucas and Peck down to 15th. So those are the point scorers. Then Haas, Albertini, Kolb, Nietzsche, Badcock, Roslev, Bateson, Riedel, Schneider, Pozl, Frajda, Suski and May as the running order, and then Ventura, Niyiri and Fernandez did not finish the race. So that's it for tonight. 2 sprint races. Pavel Niyiri and Robert Horvat are the winners. In 2 weeks' time we will go to the Hungaroring, so stay tuned and join us for the live stream. If you want to race with us, put up the series that we offer. Once again, we have these 4 series, and of course the race club races every 2 weeks with some cheap or free content to get you up to speed in rrleagues.com. So make sure to look for us on Facebook, our website, YouTube, Twitter, anywhere you can find us. And well, we will hear from you soon. See you in 2 weeks, and thanks for watching.